What's going on, guys? Welcome on clickorlando.com and the Pinpoint Weather app. I'm meteorologist Jonathan Kagas. We are tracking the likelihood of a mixed weekend. Could be an ugly weekend at times with the chance for some stronger thunderstorms on Saturday. It's not going to be an all-day rain. We're going to get into the timeline in a second. But on Sunday, as we clear things out, it is going to turn colder, and it is going to get really, really windy on Sunday afternoons. We're going to break all that down over the next few minutes. I first want to show you where our developing storm system is at right now. You can kind of see this swirl, this little bowling ball, upper low here, working to the west of Dallas. And it's going to be this spiral that helps to generate an area of low pressure out over the Gulf of Mexico. And it's that system that will eventually kind of push right on through the peninsula over Saturday and then exit on Sunday, really early in the morning on Sunday. So in terms of that severe weather threat, I want to show you the threat first here. Marginal risk for most of Central Florida. That is that light green color. That is that 1 out of 5 on the severe weather scale. Okay, so it means that the severe weather threat, it's not 0, but it's not very high. Where we are looking for a relatively higher threat for severe thunderstorms is going to be north of Orlando, northwest of the I-4 corridor, really from about Daytona Beach into Leesburg, northern Lake County, including the villages, getting into Marion County and Flagler County as well, up towards St. Augustine and into Jacksonville. So we're at 2 out of 5. Relatively speaking, a higher threat is going to be there for the chance for stronger thunderstorms. That is because we're going to have a warm front draped there. That's going to help to be a focal point to focus a little more storm organization. I'm going to show you all that in a second. So we're going to start with Friday night here. And again, relatively speaking, things are quiet. Just like last night, though, I do think we could have a few scattered thunderstorms in the mix late into the evening, early into your Saturday morning. Sea breeze fires up. It's crazy. It's February and we're talking about our line of sea breeze storms like what we had last night. Those are not anticipated to be on the stronger side. Could have some heavier downpours and lightning, but we're not talking about anything damaging there. We're going to fast forward to 4 o'clock on Saturday morning. We have a broken line of scattered showers and thunderstorms. These ones really shouldn't be on the stronger side either, but nonetheless, I do think we're going to be dodging a few scattered storms once we get into your early Saturday morning. Now, I mentioned it's not going to be a washout on Saturday, and it's actually going to be a pretty nice afternoon, late morning, early afternoon anyway, and it's going to be really warm. Temperatures get back to the upper 70s and low 80s again. So that's 11 o'clock, and notice there's not much going on. We just have passing clouds. We have a few little blips of green there. Also note the more sunshine we see tomorrow, the better opportunity we're going to have to get some stronger thunderstorms in the mix. We were rooting for the clouds and kind of the fog and that drizzle to kind of hang around in the morning that will help to lower the overall threat for severe weather. Anyway, going out into the future a little bit further, here is 2 o'clock, and this is when we're going to start to look for the chance for some stronger thunderstorms. Notice a few of these start to bubble up here right along the I-75, I-4 corridors west of Orlando. The main line here starting to work its way onshore in extreme western Florida, right along the Gulf Coast and into the Big Bend. Now watch what happens as we get deeper into the afternoon. We have a few more scattered storms starting to work its way across the Florida Peninsula, and that's where these could be at their strongest as we get into the middle to latter stages of your Saturday afternoon. That's 7 o'clock. By this time, we should be really winding things down. Any kind of severe weather threat that is out there should be winding down, and we'll just see straight downpours in the mix as this system kind of lifts up into the mid-Atlantic and then blows out over the Atlantic Ocean by the time we get to Sunday. So in terms of those threats, and again, we're looking for that 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock in the evening time frame on your Saturday. No doubt the highest threats with these are going to be pockets of heavy rain. We're not really looking at flooding. These are going to be moving pretty quick, so they're not going to stay over one area, but the rain will be heavy. Any storm that gets going will contain lightning. We all know that in Central Florida. We have a decent amount of instability in the atmosphere tomorrow. Damaging wind in terms of the severe weather threats will be on the moderate side of things. This is not a high-risk day by any means in terms of severe weather, but it's more on the elevated side. We have pieces there. It's not all there, but pieces are there to create some damaging winds. The hail threat going to be pretty low on Saturday. And then the one thing in question here is going to be the tornado risk. That is not zero, especially in that yellow shaded area that I showed you along and northwest of I-4. We have that big upper low. I showed you that spiral, that spinny thing coming out of Texas. That's going to be in close proximity to us, and that will help to get the turning of the winds with height. Again, it's not the biggest threat, but it's not zero. It's certainly something, though, we are watching for. I'll kind of draw that all out for you here. There's our developing low pressure by the time we get into Saturday afternoon. That's 2 o'clock. We're going to be watching for a warm front to be draped across north central Florida. The extended cold front will then be out over the Gulf of Mexico. Where we're looking for the chance for maybe a brief tornado or two tomorrow on Saturday is going to be right along and north of that front, because that will have our wind direction out of the south and east at the surface. And then with that upper low that's going to be hanging back here over the deep south, that's going to induce southwest winds aloft. So that's that turning of the winds with height to help get things to spin a little bit. Now, I mentioned that all the ingredients aren't there. There's still not a lot of instability. And if we do see the cloud cover around in the morning, that is certainly going to impact the strength of these storms to begin with, to be able to grow tall enough to take advantage of some of those wind dynamics, if you will, as we get into Saturday afternoon and evening. So I'm going to get rid of all of the drawings here, and I'm going to take you through the rest of the afternoon. Showed you again that the severe weather threat's going to wind down gradually as we get into the evening. There's midnight on Sunday. That area of low pressure now is sliding up towards Atlanta, and then the storm itself starts to pull away. But as it does this, and as it drags that cold front right on through Florida, the winds are going to start to go nuts. It's going to be very, very windy as we get into Sunday. So this is Sunday morning. Wind gusts on the order of 20 to 30 miles an hour throughout most of the Florida peninsula. Look at this, though. Towards Cedar Key and Tampa, we're talking more like 30 to 45 mile per hour gusts. And as we move into your Sunday afternoon, look at this. We're really talking about widespread 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts as we go through the peninsula. Look at that, 45 mile per hour gusts towards Cedar Key. And again, we could have isolated higher amounts in terms of those wind gusts, or wind speeds, I should say, as we move into Saturday afternoon. Spotty power outages could be possible. I'm not looking at anything widespread by any means, but Sunday is a big day for TV watchers. So just keep that in mind, as well as those winds are going to be howling towards the afternoon and evening. But wait, there's more. As that front comes through, it is going to bring that colder air. We've been advertising this for about the last week now, the colder air plunging in behind it. It's nothing frigid, but when you're talking about air temperatures in the mid-80s, it's certainly going to impact you. So this is Sunday afternoon now. Average high temperatures are in the mid-70s. We're going to struggle to get out of the 50s in Marion County. Okay, we're going to be likely in the low to mid-60s north of Orlando. Might still be able to make a run for the lower 70s south of Orlando, as again, that colder air is rushing in from northwest to southeast. So we'll see the colder air arrive quicker north of Orlando, of course. Now, as we get into Monday morning, that is when you are going to really feel it. We're going to wake up to air temperatures on Monday in the 30s and 40s. So there's a lot going on over the next couple of days, kind of a multi-part impact system. Again, be mindful, stay weather aware, Pinpoint Weather app. If you are watching us live on the Pinpoint Weather app, you know what a great tool it is. If you are on clickorlando.com and watching this live, and you don't have the Pinpoint Weather app, it's a great tool. You can track the rain right to your location. You can track lightning. There's a lightning detection system on there. It'll let you know when lightning is nearby. That will be key for tomorrow, and especially as we go through our very stormy summers. You all know the drill if you lived here long enough. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, bam, almost every afternoon. So that will help in the long term as well. And of course, if there are any watches and warnings issued by the National Weather Service, that will get pushed to your phone if you have those alerts set. So it is a really, really good tool. Again, we're watching it closely, especially that narrow ribbon northwest of Orlando. So we're going to keep tabs on that. And again, tomorrow, Saturday, is a great day to be weather aware and just keep tabs on the the changing weather conditions for your Saturday afternoon. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Be safe. We'll catch you next time.